What's up, guys, and welcome to UCG Top Picks. Now, I love Marvel, and one of my favorite characters is Spider-Man. Not only are there quite a few movies he's had, but there has also been a lot of Spider-Man video games over the years as well. So in this video, we are taking a look at my top 10 picks for the best Spider-Man video games of all time. Let's get into it. Kicking things off at number 10 is Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage, a side-scrolling beat-em-up game for the Mega Drive, Genesis, and Super Nintendo. We have fast-paced action, good soundtrack, and the choice to use Spider-Man or Venom, and we all loved Venom back in the day, so as a kid, this was a big deal for me. Now I will say, this game did not hold your hand like games do today. It was super hard. There were no save points, no passwords to input, and only a limited number of continues, but the controls are tight though. Back then, this wasn't really frustrating. I enjoyed the challenge and I didn't mind replaying over and over and over. Number 9, The Amazing Spider-Man, a game based on the movie of the same name. The game is developed by VENOM and Activision, the same developers of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Spider-Man Edge of Time, but I would say those are better games. But the gameplay here was pretty good and the storyline was just okay, but it was still a fun time. The open world was okay with plenty of activities to play around within the city to keep you busy. And at the time this game was released, I would say the graphics were pretty good. Also a quick note, but this was my least favorite movie of all the Spider-Man movies, but I still picked up the game. Fanboy. Number 8, Spider-Man Edge of Time. Now I will say, this game did not get good reviews, but you guys know how reviews can be at times, only seeing the bad and not the good. The game was created by developer VENOM, the same guys that gave us Shattered Dimensions, which did receive a good review, but I thought it was okay. This game had pretty good visuals, the story and the gameplay mechanics are almost just as good as any other Spider-Man game. The story is also unique with the Amazing Spider-Man and 2099 Spider-Man. But I will admit, the game being in corporate headquarters and having Spider-Man face off against drones and a bunch of robot enemies can get a little stale at times. Number 7, Spider-Man, released in 2000 on the original OG PlayStation. This game played a big part in my childhood and I love it out of pure nostalgia. Now, you cannot free roam and the controls are pretty simple, but the game was very enjoyable and had many surprises around every corner. The game had a lot of boss fights, which were okay, and the game allowed you to put in cheats which could give you skins like Spider-Man 2099. My old school gamers remember cheats, right? Nowadays, we call it paid DLC. But overall, it was a good game for the PS1 at the time, and I really enjoyed it. Number 6, Spider-Man 2. I had this game for the original Xbox at the time, and this game was groundbreaking for its time. It had dozens of different tricks with very precise and easy button combinations. All of Manhattan was for you to explore and move around in, which was cool at the time, and the storyline of the game did follow the movie. And this is a little off topic, but I think Tobey played the best Spider-Man in all the movies. That's my opinion. If you want to argue with me, please sound off in the comments. Anyways, the combat here was not too basic, not too complex, just right coming from games before it. And the graphics, they weren't that bad either. Considering this is 2004, I really enjoyed the title back in the day. Now we're at that halfway point. Number 5, Ultimate Spider-Man. Let me say that the web slinging in this game is the most realistic and most fun web slinging on a Spider-Man game from the past. The story was good and so were the visuals. I love the cell shading that made the entire game appear as if it was a living comic book. What I really liked is that you could play as Venom in his own storyline. And who doesn't like Venom, right? He is my favorite Spider-Man villain. This game was released on every relevant platform at the time in 2005. I'm talking GameCube, Xbox, PS2, DS, PC, and even mobile. I played it on PS2. Number 4 is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Here you have 4 different versions of Spider-Man that are playable. All the Spider-Mans have unique abilities, and this was awesome. Plus, Spider-Man's most famous villains were here as well. I'm talking Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Juggernaut, Deadpool, Electro, Carnage, Dr. Octopus, Lizard, Sandman, Kraven, Vulture, and Hammerhead. The game had good controls, unlike a lot of Spider-Man games that had bad camera controls. A really good story and cool level design. I would say this is a classic that I enjoyed back on the Xbox 360. And the only thing that could have made this game better is that if it was open world. Number 3, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. It had a few glitches, but it was still a good game. What I liked most about the game was the combat system. The moves are easy to learn and remain interesting even after hours of playing due to the smoothness of the Spider-Man agility. The fights are never boring due to variation of enemy abilities and locations. And don't let me forget the web slinging, which was good as well. Which is always good for a Spider-Man game, of course. The good/evil choices are fun and the multiple endings add replay value. The story has a few moments that branch off depending on your choices. Oh, and the game had Wolverine. Can't leave him out. Number 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales, the PS5 spin-off standalone that gives Miles Morales his own amazing game. It takes you on a web-slinging action-packed adventure with the smoother playstyle of Miles Morales. The story is nearly perfect, and being more serious with less comedy fits the game perfect. Whether you like the character or not, you will admit that every scene is heart-pounding on what's going to be happening next. Everything was perfect here. The controls, the gameplay, sound, and of course, the story. We really got 2 awesome Spider-Man games back to back with this. The only thing I wish is that this game was just a little bit longer. And my number 1 pick is Marvel Spider-Man, one of the best superhero games I have ever played. There are so many things I enjoyed here. The gameplay is very engaging. Even when you aren't doing nothing, it was fun just to swing around New York skyscrapers. The controls are fun to use, the combat and skill tree is very interesting, and had a lot of abilities that changed the gameplay quite a bit. The story was so good it felt like I was playing through a movie, especially with how great the cutscenes and writing were. This game did an amazing job with Peter Parker's story, the best Spider-Man game of all time. I enjoyed it on the PS4. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, and also make sure to comment if you agree with my top 10 or if you disagree with my top 10. Let me know why, or let me know what game you feel that I left out. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.